Hi everyone, welcome back. Her name is Algebra and she's here to stay. This is probably going to be a series, so get a pen, get a piece of paper and let's get into it. According to Wikipedia, algebra is the study of mathematical symbols and equations and the rules that guide the use of those symbols. Now this is quite general and some people find it quite confusing, so on this channel we always break stuff down and make things easy. So let's start with the very basics. What is an expression and what's an equation to begin with? An expression is when you have a combination of letters and numbers. For example, 3a plus 5. That is an expression. It has letters and numbers. Equation has the word equal inside it, so always remember an equation has an equality sign. So an equation can be 3a plus 5 equals, say, 7. A lot of people might think, why do we even use letters with numbers? That is quite confusing. And why do we even use them in real life? Well, you'd be surprised that we use equations and algebra in everyday life to predict growth in a company, sales in a business, or even simple things like profit. So it's an everyday thing. Remember your simple arithmetic. So remember when you had very simple combinations such as 4 plus 3 equals something. That's arithmetic. In arithmetic, we have very simple rules. There's 4 function: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now, the same functions are used in algebra as well, because algebra really is a form of arithmetic. The only difference is there is an unknown value. So back when you used to do just simple arithmetic, the unknown would be the result of the addition 4 plus 3. Now you all know it's 7, but let's just say I didn't write that just yet, I just left it blank. That would be the unknown value, as we say in algebra. So if I was to write that in an algebraic form, it would be 4 plus 3 equals x. You all have seen x before, it's just the unknown value that we use the most. The letter that's more commonly used tends to be x or y. Okay, so now let's talk about something more common. You have probably seen a lot of letters right next to numbers in what we call a formula. We use formulas quite a lot, especially in maths, science, physics. We can use them so we can find out, for example, the area of a triangle. Now think about it this way. Is every single triangle out there exactly the same? No. Do they have the same base? No. Do they have the same height? Definitely not. So when you want a formula to calculate the area of a triangle, you put b, the letter b, instead of writing base or writing every single possible result, times the height, which you represent as a h, and not as every single possible height of every single possible triangle out there, and you divide that by 2. So you get the point. You use the letter to represent a value that, for the time being, might just be unknown. So as I said, area is base times height divided by 2. I'm going to pop a little icon on the screen now, and I'll go through it into more detail. So as you can see here on the picture, we've got 2 triangles. We've got triangle A, which is quite bigger than triangle B. However, the formula for the area is exactly the same. And that's the idea for mathematical formulas. We use the letters to substitute a multitude of different numbers that we might not know. Anyway, we start with the first one. Area, so A equals B for base times H for height divided by 2. For the first triangle, area for triangle A, we substitute B for 5 meters times 6 for height, which is 30 divided by 2 gives you 15. And for the second triangle, we get in 2 for base times 3 for height, 6 divided by 2 equals 3. Both of the units are meters squared, because those are the units for the area, and there you have it. So we just saw an example with a formula and using algebra in maths with the area of a triangle. So how about we see another example in physics, because we use formulas and algebra in general quite a lot in physics as well. So I'm going to pop another little icon on the screen. The very first thing we're going to mention is the red writing about substitution. The definition says that when you replace a letter in a formula, it's called substitution. Moving on, we have the actual problem in physics. A car's velocity is 40 meters per second. In 20 seconds, how many meters has it actually traveled? Now, I have provided the formula, but be mindful, not every time you're solving a problem, the formula will be provided. May that be maths or physics. Moving on, Velocity equals distance divided by time. You need to find the distance. You're going to rearrange that formula, making distance the subject of the formula. Distance then is velocity times time. You're going to substitute in the actual numbers, 40 meters per second times 20 seconds. That gives you 800 meters and not 80. So we've seen an example in algebra, we've seen an example in physics, and all those formulas most of the time will probably be given to you. But how do you write in algebraic notation if you have to? There's very simple rules you need to follow, and I'm going to pop a little icon on the screen and I'm going to go through with them with you one by one. The first one is if you are multiplying. So say you're multiplying an unknown value times itself, you get an unknown value squared. If you're adding an unknown value plus an unknown value, you get that unknown value 2 times. Now there's the old example of apple plus apple equals 2 apples, and so on, with the apple just being the unknown value. And finally, if you multiply an unknown value with another unknown value, you just write them without a little x or a little dot in between them, just one next to each other, because multiplication between two unknown values is simply implied. Finally, if you're adding an unknown value to another unknown value, you both are still unknown, you can't do anything with it, you just have to rewrite it. So for example, x plus y will still be x plus y. And those are the simple guidelines. There you have it. Those are the basics with algebra. This is probably going to be a series, so stay tuned for the next video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the new videos, and hit the notification bell to get the notification when I upload. I upload videos every single week. Thank you very much for watching.